Hello everyone, this is Daniel Jair Gutierrez Perdomo. This is the Activity for Material Design for Face-to-Face Environments course. Unit 1 is the 2 to establish theoretical fundamentation for design teaching materials. Principles and procedures of material development for language learning. Materials that shall be used in a language teaching shall be driven by the principles on learning and teaching. Theories on language acquisition and development. Principles on teaching or current knowledge on how the target language is actually used, and the result on the systematic determination and evaluation of material in use. Tollinson, 1998, proposed 16 principles for material development which derive from second language acquisition, research, and experience. Expose the learning to language in authentic use. Hard learning to pay attention to feature and authentic input. Provide the learning with opportunities to use the target language to achieve communicative purpose. Provide opportunity for outcome feedback. Achieve impact in the sense that they arouse and sustain the learning curiosity and attention. And to last, stimulate intellectual activity and emotional involvement. So here are the main principles on language acquisition and the principle for material development which I draw for them. The first one is prerequisite for language acquisition is that learners are exposed to a rich, meaningful, and comprehensible input on language in use. So material had to contain a lot of spoken and written text with provided extensive experience of language. Make sure that the language the learner are exposed to is authentic in the sense that is representing how to language is typically used. Make sure that the language input is contextualized. Make sure that the learning are exposed to sufficient samples of language in authentic use to provide the natural recycling of language item and feature which may be useful for the learning to acquire. The other one is in order to the learning to maximize their exposure language in use, they need to be engaged both affectively and cognitive in the language experience. As we know, thinking wireless experience in language is used to help the articulate process required for effective and durable learning, and it helps to the learning transfer high-level skills such as predicting, connecting, interpreting, evaluating to the second language use. So, priorities the potential for engagement by the example-based unit and text or attacks which is likely to achieve effective and cognitive engagement rating than a reaching point select from the syllabus. May use an activity we get the learning to get about what they are reading or listening to and responding to it personally. May use an activity we get learning to think and feel before, during, and after using the target language for communication. Language learning would try possibly after and much more likely to acquire communicative competence than those who do not. As we know, students need to achieve positive self-esteem and they need to be emotionally involving into the learning process. So positive emotions seem to be the most used for in relation to language acquisitions. So this material need to have or make sure the text and tags are interesting, relevant, and enjoyable as possible to add the extra possible influence on the learning attitudes to the language and the process on learning. Set achievable challenges will help to raise the learning self-esteem when success is accomplished. Stimulate emotion responsibly through the response through the use of music, sound, literature, art, etc., through making use of controversial and provocative tools, through personalization, and through embedding learning to articulate their feeling about text before asking them to analyze it. The other one is second language learning can benefit from use dogs mentors are with they typically utilize when higher the using their first language. So make use an activity we get learning to visual or inner speed before tuning and after experience at write or spoken test. Make use an activity we get learning to visual and or use inner before, during, and after using language themselves. And the other one else may use an activity will help the learning to reflect on their mental activity during tasks. Then try to make more use of mental strategies in a similar chats. Language learning can benefit noticing silence, feature, and the inputs. So use an experiential approach in which the learning affairs and how provided with an experience. We engage them holistically in reading them throughout the learning attention to articular feature and text and the provided explicit information about usage. um, it's much more powerful to help the learning, preferably in collaboration, to make discover themselves. Learning into the opportunity to use language to try to achieve communicative purpose. So when you should let me when using language in this way, they are keen to feedback on the hypotheses they have developed as a result of generalizing on the language in their intake and on their ability to make use of them effectively. Here provide many opportunity for the learning to produce language in order to achieve attain outcomes. Measure that these outcomes are designed to the learning are using language rather than use practice in a specific feature of it. Design output activities so that they help learning to develop their ability to communicate friendship accurately, appropriately, and effectively. Make sure that the output activities are fully contextualized and that the learning are responding to authentic stimuli that they have experienced Idris addresses, and that they had a clear intent outcome in mind. And the last part is try to ensure that opportunity for feedback are built into outback activity and are provided for learning outward. So some example for of material about the last one is material that study how to produce a test with development from one day have years experience. So thank you so much.